Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another webinar by CA Club India. My name is Aishna, and I'm the assistant editor at CA Club India. As you all know, in this session, we are going to talk about the quarterly return and monthly payment scheme, which I'm sure you guys will also agree is the most sought after and talked about scheme for the year 2020. And today for this session, we have with us CA Gauri Chadha, who is a well-renowned tax expert and a lawyer. She has made her appearance in various news channels and has always spoken on the behalf of the taxpayers. Currently, she is running her own practice, Gauri Chadha and Associates, based out of Delhi. Welcome to CA Club India, Gauri. Just a quick disclaimer for the participants. This is going to be a speaker session, which will be followed by a Q&A session. So if you have any queries about the QRMP scheme, please put it in the chat box and we will be taking it up in the Q&A session. Over to you, Gauri, now. You're on mute. We're not able to hear you. Can you unmute yourself?
Sorry. Yeah. So thank you so much. And first of all, I would like to wish everyone, including you, Ashna, a very happy new year. Since today is the last day of this year, and tomorrow we'll be starting fresh. And from tomorrow, this scheme is also being implemented. So we'll start with the topic. So basically, this scheme is applicable from 1st January 2021. For the ease of compliance, the government has brought in this scheme. This scheme was decided in the 42nd GST Council meeting, which was held on 5th of October. Now, it was after the scheme was launched, there were 4 notifications and 1 circular which was released. So we'll discuss that in detail. First of all, I would like to mention that this scheme is optional. That means you are not, basically, it is not compulsory for you to opt for this scheme. It is totally your choice if you want to go for this scheme or not. Moreover, it is optional for all GST numbers. For example, if you have one GST number for Mumbai, one for Delhi, one for Pune. So it is up to you. You go for, you opt this scheme for Mumbai and Pune and not for Delhi, or you opt only for Delhi and don't opt for Pune and Mumbai. So it is totally your call. It is totally your discretion. So it is totally optional. They have given a lot of flexibility in this scheme. So first we'll discuss the eligibility. So eligibility is any registered person who is required to furnish 3B plus is having turnover up to 5 crores in the preceding financial year is eligible to take the benefit of this scheme. And therefore a registered person having pan India aggregate turnover up to 5 crore will have the option to furnish quarterly returns and monthly payments instead of monthly 3B. So basically you will have option to file quarterly return, but still your payment will remain monthly. And this option is available only for registered person having turnover less than 5 crores. Now this turnover will be seen from your preceding financial year's turnover, which the returns of which you must have filed and which will be available on the portal. Now on 10th of November, 4 notifications and 1 circular came. One notification was notification number 81/2020, which notifies amendment carried out in subsection 1, 2, and 7 of subsection 39 of the CGST Act. Another notification was notification number 82/2020, which makes the 13th Amendment 2020 to the CGST Rules 2017. Another notification was notification number 84/2020, which notifies class of persons under proviso to section 39(1) of the CGST Act. And another notification, last notification was notification number 85/2020, which notifies special procedure for making payment of tax liability in the first 2 months of the quarter. So basically 4 notifications, 82, 84, 82, 84, 85, and 81. So 81, 82, 84, and 85. And another circular, which is circular number 143/13/2020, which was dated 10th November. So now the question is, which turnover will be taken into consideration? So the aggregate turnover will be calculated for the preceding year from the common portal, taking into account the details furnished in the returns. Basically, the returns which you have furnished will be taken as the turnover, and if the total turnover is less than 5 crores, in that case, you will be eligible for this scheme. In case the turnover exceeds 5 crore during any quarter in the current financial year, which is very much possible if your turnover is around 5 crores and in any quarter it exceeds the threshold limit of 5 crore, then that taxpayer will not be eligible to remain in this scheme from the next quarter. Another point is that we can exercise this option state-wise, which I have already mentioned, that you can exercise it state-wise. So you don't have to opt for company as a whole. You can opt as a another GST number can have this scheme. Old GST number cannot have this scheme. So it is totally your call, your discretion, any which ways you want. Now, if we talk about the exercising option, when can you exercise this option? How can you opt for this scheme? So a registered person can opt in for this scheme from the first day of the second month. Just hear me carefully here. First day of the second month of the preceding quarter to the last day of the first month of the quarter. I will repeat, first day of the second month of the preceding quarter to the last day of the first month of the quarter. For example, if you are talking about quarter Jan to March, one can opt from 1st November, which is the first day of the second month of the preceding quarter, to 31st Jan, which is first month of the quarter, last day of the first month of the quarter. If we talk about April to June, it will be from 1st February to 30th April. If we talk about July to September, you can opt from 1st May onwards till 31st July. Then if we talk about October to December, then it is 1st August to 31st October. So approximately you have 92 days to opt for this scheme. Now, in order to exercise this option, the registered person must have filed the last return due. So that it means that if you have not filed the last return due, you will not be able to select this option from the portal. For example, if you are exercising this option on 26th June for April, then you must have furnished your return for March, which was due on 22nd or 24th April, whichever the case may be. It is the last dates of the GST returns are in scattered manner, so staggered manner. So you can go for any date, whichever date is applicable for you, for your state. Similarly, any person who has obtained registration during any quarter or have opted out from the composition during any quarter shall also be able to opt in the similar manner. Moreover, you don't have to opt in for this scheme every quarter. So basically, once you have opted for this scheme, you will remain in this scheme till the time you opt out or you cross the threshold. So there are two situations in which you can opt out. You will be automatically opted out from the scheme. First is if you have crossed the threshold limit, or you have opted out manually. Basically, for to opt out or to opt in, you have to log into the portal, and there you will see the option. You want to go for quarterly filing or you want to go for monthly filing, and you will see that one option is already selected. So if you want to change it, you will have to select the other option. Otherwise, you will have to leave it there and then. Now comes default migration. The government has by default migrated all the taxpayers already. So if you will log in and see, you will see these two options, and the one which is by default selected by the government, you will see that option which has been selected. And if you want to change, of course, you can change it. So for the first quarter of the scheme, that is quarter Jan to March, which will start from tomorrow, all registered persons whose turnover is up to 5 crores and who have furnished the return in Form 3B for the month of October 2020 by 30th November 2020 shall be migrated on the common portal in the prescribed manner. Now, what is the prescribed manner? So the department has clarified the prescribed manner as well. So as per the prescribed manner, registered persons having aggregate turnover of up to 5 crores who have furnished Form GSTR 1 on quarterly basis in the financial year, current financial year, they have been registered, they have been migrated on quarterly basis automatically. Registered persons having aggregate turnover of up to 1.5 crore rupees who have furnished Form GSTR 1 on monthly basis in the current financial year, they have been migrated to monthly basis. Registered persons having aggregate turnover of more than 1.5 crores and up to 5 crores in the preceding financial year have been migrated to quarterly basis. So this migration has been already done. You can check for your clients or yourself that in which category you fall. You will see this automatic migration on the portal. The taxpayers who have not filed their return for October 2020 on or before 30th November will not be migrated to this scheme. They will be able to opt for this scheme once the form GSTR 3B as on due date or exercising option has been filled. So you have to fill this form and then you will be able to exercise this option. The registered persons are free to change the option which has been given by auto migration. So if of course if you desire to do so. So for this the date is 5th December to 31st January 2021. If you want to change, you can change. You must go on to the portal, and if all of you are chartered accountants or your articles, or maybe you are the SFC himself, so just go on to the portal, check where the auto migration has been given to you, then just see which category you fall into. Can you opt for the new scheme or not? Do you want to stay in the new scheme or not? Then accordingly you have to change it. So after this webinar you will understand all the things related to this scheme, and then you will be able to decide which scheme you wish to opt for. To opt in and to opt out, you have to go to services, then you will have to choose returns, and then you can opt in and opt out. And this is very easy to do. Just a simple box there where you will see a checkbox thing there, and you can just uncheck that box. It's a very simple thing to do. So now comes the main feature of this scheme, which is invoice furnishing facility. We also call it as IFF. This is the main feature. Now the concern was that if someone is filing return on quarterly basis, the person from whom you are buying the stuff, who's the purchaser basically, will not get the credit until and unless you file the GSTR 1. And because otherwise that invoice will not be reflected in 2A 2B of the purchaser, and there will be a very big gap in seamless credit, I would say. So this was a very big concern which has been addressed to in this scheme. So basically, as per Rule 59, you will have to furnish GSTR 1 quarterly with details of output supplies. Now the issue was that the person who wants to claim the credit of this same will not be given credit till the time you file GSTR 1 for B2B sales. So now you can use this facility of invoice punishing facility. So if you feel that the need to you need to upload any B2B sales in the first and the second month of the quarter, this depends upon your understanding between the supplier and you. You can upload the same between first day of the succeeding month till 13th day of the succeeding month. I'll repeat this again. Between the first day of the succeeding month till the third day of the succeeding month. यानी कि जिस दिन मंथ खत्म हुआ उसके अगले दिन से 13th day तक. So you will get 13 days to upload the same. These sales which you are furnishing in IAF shall not exceed 50,000 in each month, and after 13th this facility will not be available for previous month. You will get 13 days to upload these invoices, and this facility will not be available after the 13th day, because after 13th day then 2A 2B basically generates. So you cannot change this IAF facility after the 13th day. This will basically post the credits in 2A and 2B of the concerned recipients timely, and they will be able to take the credit in the same manner. So there will be seamless credit, and there will be less confusion between the supplier and the purchaser and the assessee basically. Now the question is, do we have to enter the details of invoices which we have already entered in IAF, invoice furnishing facility? The answer is no. Once you have entered details in IAF, you need not mention the same in GSTR 1. Example, if you have 100 invoices and you have uploaded say 20 in IF, then you will enter only 80 in GSTR1 and not 100 invoices. So now what I would suggest is that because professionals are little worried how much fees should they charge from their clients. There are so many people who are charging on monthly basis to the clients, and the clients have started coming and saying that now the return is monthly, quarterly, so you should charge us quarterly and you should reduce the fees. So just tell them about this invoice furnishing facility, tell them that we will be uploading the invoices on still on monthly basis. Otherwise the purchaser will not get the credit, and the purchaser will stop dealing with you because he is not getting timely credit. So this is a very big reason that your fees which you are charging your clients should remain the same. Moreover, you should, if possible, you should charge for giving consultancy, that you should opt in for this scheme or you should opt out for this scheme. But at least if you're not charging for the consultancy, at least you should not decrease the fees. This is my view. Of course, you or anyone else can have a different point of view also. So moreover, it is not mandatory that you have to feed all the invoices or say B2B invoices in IF. It is totally based upon the understanding between you and your customer. So if there are clients who tell you that, no, we don't want to use this facility, we just have B2C sales, we don't have B2B sales, then in that case, it's an option with you. You just see how you can deal with the client. It is totally your call in that case. Now, the thing is that if you are going for this scheme, you are going for quarterly return and monthly payment scheme. So the name itself is explanatory that you will file the return on quarterly basis and you will pay the fees, the GST amount on monthly basis. Now, the GST amount which you will pay to the government will be paid by a challan, PMT06 challan. So this payment is to be made in the first 2 months by 25th of the succeeding month. For example, say for Jan, you have to make the payment by 25th February. For February, the payment is to be made by 25th of March. And of course, March payment will be made in April, which will be the actual payment after taking into account the payment already made in the first 2 months. So now we'll discuss how much payment you have to make to the government, what are the methods, and what is the late fee or interest or anything which is concerned with this monthly payment thing. So I've explained you when to make the payment, and this will go on for the other quarters as well in the similar way. Like for Jan, it is 25th Feb, for Feb, it's 25th March, and then so on. So for every month, it will remain the same. The days calculation basically will remain the same. So now another point is that while making the PMT 06 challan, it will ask you for the reason for making this challan. So here you will have to select quarterly return and monthly payment as the reason for creating the challan. So whenever you will make the challan, just select this reason. Now say you have adequate credit balance in the credit ledger or the tax liability is nil. Then in that case, you need not create this challan. So this is a very important point, that if you have credit balance in the credit ledger or the tax liability is nil, then there is no need to create the challan. Or even if you have adequate cash balance in the cash ledger, even in this case, payment is not to be not required. So this is applicable for both months, first month and second month. In second month, we will see the cumulative amount which is payable, of course. For example, if for the first month it was payable was 35 rupees, for second month it was payable was suppose another 35 rupees. So we have to see in totality in second month the total amount should be more than 70. If it is less than 70, then you have to pay, of course. Now say if you have paid excess, so there are quite a few chances, many chances in fact, that you pay excess amount. So you want credit, you will not get the credit. you will have to wait for the to furnish your 3B in the third month. Moreover, you cannot use this amount anywhere else. So be sure that you don't pay anything extra, since the money will be blocked and only you will be you will not be able to claim refund also. So you will in a way block your working capital. So be sure which method you are choosing to pay the challans. Make sure you make the right payment and don't block your working capital, because there is no way to claim refund or to use it somewhere else. So there are two methods basically. One is fixed sum method, the other is self assessment method. So I'll explain the methods one by one. First is fixed sum method, where an amount equal to 35% of the tax paid in the preceding quarter, where the return was furnished quarterly. Basically, if the return was furnished quarterly, then 35% of the tax paid in the preceding quarter, or equal to the tax paid in cash in the last month of the immediately preceding quarter, where the return was furnished monthly, is to be paid. For easy understanding, I'll give you an example. In case last return was filed on quarterly basis, so tax paid in the last month of quarter was CGST 100 rupees, SGST 100 rupees. Now, this is the same example which is I guess in the circular also. I've taken the same example. So in case the last return was filed on quarterly basis, tax paid in the last month of the quarter was CGST 100, SGST 100. Now, amount to be paid for next 2 months will be CGST 35 rupees, SGST 35 rupees. Now, if in case the last return was filed on monthly basis, so suppose it was CGST 100 rupees, SGST 100 rupees again. So tax to be paid in next 2 months will be CGST 100 rupees, SGST 100 rupees. That will be the same amount. Now, in fixed sum method, there are quite a few benefits also. That firstly, you don't have to calculate how much tax is to be paid, because it is, of course, the name itself is explanatory. It is fixed. You have to pay 35%. Then in this case, there is no calculation which is required. You don't have to work upon it. You don't have to invest your time. There will be an auto-populated challan and you can pay it according to that challan. Secondly, if in the third quarter, while filing the return, the liability is more, then no interest is payable. But if you fail to deposit tax and PMT 06 within due date, then interest will be payable. Whereas if you go for the self-assessment method, then in that case, the amount which if you pay less in first or second quarter, then there is a liability. So, and the liability is a good amount. It's I think 18%. As per the basically as per the provisions of section 50 of the CGST Act. So I'll just read out as the section 51 of the CGST Act. Every person who is liable to pay tax in accordance with the provisions of this section or the rules made thereunder, but fails to pay the tax or any part thereof to the government within the period prescribed, shall for the period for which the tax or any part thereof remains unpaid, pay on his own interest at such rate not exceeding 18% as may be notified by the government on the recommendation of the council. So basically it is 18%. So if you're going for fixed sum method, there is no interest payable. If you're going for self-assessment method, there will be interest payable as per section 50 of the CGST Act. For example, if someone has paid 100 rupees in last quarter and accordingly paid rupees 35 in first 2 months, that is 35 rupees in first month and 35 rupees in second month, and his actual liability is for rupees 50 in each month, still no interest would be chargeable. But in this case, if he delays his GSTR 3B, then interest would be charged from the period between due date of the quarterly 3B and the date of filing. So now, while choosing the methods, you have to choose. If you ask me, if the tax amount is not really high or low, I mean the calculation is not very tough, then go for self-assessment method. But if the calculation is tough and the amount is quite varied in past months and this month, then you should go for fixed sum method, because in that case the calculation is also easy and there is no interest also payable. But in few cases, like suppose you say you have a seasonal business. In this case, you have to really think in which quarter you have to apply for self-assessment method, and in which quarter you have to apply for fixed sum method. So I would come upon to the self-assessment method, which is the second method, so that you can understand both the methods and decide upon which client is you want to opt for self-assessment method, and which client you want to opt for fixed sum method. So in self-assessment method, you can self-assess the tax liability by testing outward tax with input tax and pay the exact balance in Challan PMT 06, which is exactly which we are doing right now. In any case we do this, we calculate our output tax, we calculate our input tax, and we deduct our input tax from our outward tax, and then we pay the exact amount in our GSTR 3B. So now you have to, in this method, you have to do the same. You have to make a Challan PMT 06 and pay the liability. To check the input tax credit available, you will use your GSTR 2B. Now in 2B, you will get the credit of only those entries which your the other party has been using for IAF. If they have not updated any invoice in IAF, you will not see that invoice in your GSTR 2B. So you have to have a balance between both the things. You have to talk to the other party that you want the credit, you want them to use invoice furnishing facility, and you want them to upload that invoice so that you can take the credit on time. Now, what will happen in case you cancel the GST number in first 2 months? So if you cancel the GST number in first 2 months of the quarter, you will still be liable to file your GST 3B of that quarter. It doesn't mean that you have cancelled your GST number for first 2 quarters, so you will not file your 3B for that quarter. So you have to still file that 3B for that quarter. And there are many people, I have seen personally, quite a few clients came to me and they said that we had cancelled our GST number and we had stopped filing the returns, but now the department is has given us notice that you're not filing returns. So you have to see whether that the department has accepted your cancellation or not. If the GST number is still working, then you have to file the returns till the time it is active. So you just be sure, and in any case, even if it is cancelled in first 2 months, you still have to file the GSTR 3 of that quarter. Now the last point is that the late fee would be applicable for delay in furnishing of the said quarterly return, that is delay details of output supply. Moreover, there is no late fee payable for delay in payment of tax in first 2 months of the quarter. So this is it. This was the last point which is related to the scheme. This is basically all about quarterly return and monthly payment. Now I would ask, I think we have a lot of questions. So we can take up the questions now.
Thank you so much for this insightful webinar, Gauri. We also have some questions from YouTube. Let me just. Yes, so most of these questions have already been covered, but I think we can take them up again. How the recipient of a quarterly filer will get the input tax credit?
Yeah, so as I told you, this was a very big issue which has been covered, which has been addressed by the department. They have, by the government basically, they have given this invoice furnishing facility. So communicate with the buyer and seller. I mean, the communication should be good. Just convey them that you want the credit on time. So they should furnish the details of the invoice in invoice furnishing facility so that you can get the credit, and you will see that credit is available in your 2B. So basically you have to use your 2B so that that credit will be available in 2B, and then you can use it. So just communicate with them and that you want the credit. That's it.
My aggregate turnover is less than rupees 5 crores, but still the system does not allow me to opt in for the scheme. What should I do?
I think this is a technical error. I think you should contact the GST helpline or just raise a ticket and send an email. I don't remember the email ID like this, but this is the email ID is available on the website. So just raise a ticket or just contact the helpline. I'm sure they'll be able to help.
Okay. We have one question from Dastagiri. Why government gone for this system? What might be the purpose?
See, the purpose is ease of compliance, of course. And initially, this 3B was not meant to be there. 3B was a substitute return. They started off with 3B because they were not ready with the actual plan. So later on, they made 3B as the main plan. So now they don't want to continue like this. They don't want small taxpayers to file monthly returns. They want to give some relief, although I personally don't feel that it is a very big relief, because in any way, any case, you are liable to file IAF if your buyer is forcing you to, because otherwise the buyer will not deal with you. So you have to listen to your buyer. You have to use this facility, and moreover you have to make the payment monthly. So this is, according to me, not a very good scheme. But of course, many people will think that this is ease of compliance. So this is the reason basically.
Another question from Mahipal. Madam, as the monthly payment is still there, then what's the benefit of this scheme? Please explain all benefits possible from this scheme. I think we just covered that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so next is, will the facility to file nil return through SMS be available for the QRMP scheme?
Yes, definitely it will be available. Definitely.
If a company's aggregate turnover for last year is 5 crores, monthly now for current year it is less than 5 crores on month-to-month basis, can this company continue to file GST return on monthly basis or quarterly basis?
So your aggregate turnover in previous year was more than 5 crores, right?
Right.
Yeah, so you cannot opt for this scheme. This is because we will see the turnover of the previous year, and that turnover will be calculated from the portal itself. So if your turnover was more than 5 crores, you are not eligible for this scheme.
Okay, so we have a last question. Is it mandatory for exercising the same option for both the months? I think they're talking about the fixed sum method and the self-assessment method.
No, there is no compulsion. You this is also optional. You can change it on quarterly basis. But of course, I guess if you are choosing fixed sum for first month, then go for fixed sum for the second month also, of course. But in the next quarter, you can change.
Okay, so I think we've covered all the questions. There were more also, but those are like very basic ones which had already been covered. Okay, we are getting more also. This scheme applicable for construction company or property or partnership firm?
Can you please repeat? Sorry.
Is the scheme available for company or property or partnership firm?
Property as in?
I'm not very sure. Samadhan, can you please just explain the question again? Meanwhile, we'll take another question. Some customers GST are one updated but not filed with a digital signature. In this case, whether we can take the input tax credit or not.
If the input tax credit is available in your GSTR 2B, you can take it. But if it is not available in GSTR 2B, then you cannot take it. I am not sure if someone has submitted the return but not filed, then the GSTR 2B is updated or not. According to me, it is not updated. So if it is not reflecting in your GSTR 2B, then don't take it.
We have a question from Mahipal. Is the portal ready for the scheme for the fixed sum and the self-assessment option?
I think so. I think so. Initially, of course, you'll face some issues, like every now and then. Whenever they launch a new scheme, there are a few problems, but you have to bear with them, and I think it should be ready.
Okay, so I think we've exhausted the questions. So thank you so much, Gauri, for this
Most
insightful
welcome.
webinar.
Most welcome. Most
And
welcome.
a
Thank you so
very
much.
happy new year to you and to all the participants.
Thank you. Same to you and everyone. Same to you.